Yeah, I'm in the booth flaming up right now. Right now. I'm in the booth heating up right now. Right now. Easy P. I say big wood smoker, baby.
Hello you guys, it's your girl Simply Sweetness, back to you with another mukbang / conversation. Okay, I told y'all in my last video I was gonna do a video addressing the Laquan McDonald case. Laquan McDonald was a black young man from Chicago who was gunned down by police. So, I really didn't go back and rewatch the movie. So I'm just doing this by memory, so it won't be no notes today. Lord, thank you for this food I'm about to receive, for the nourishment of my body. Bless this food in the hands that prepared it. May it be clean of any impurities. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, on Xfinity, there is a movie about, I should probably say documentary, about Laquan McDonald called 16 Shots. And it basically covers the fact that Chicago police covered up the fact that they murdered this young man. I can't remember the name of the police officer, but this is a chicken chimichanga from Taco Star and order fries. I have done a video with eating this before. What was sad about the Laquan McDonald case is the fact that they lied and said the reason for shooting Laquan McDonald is because he was walking up on a police officer with a knife. Now, the responding officer, who initially answered to a call that he was breaking into a trucking yard, when they showed up, he was just walking. And one officer was outside of the car following him, trying to talk to him. And the other officer was driving beside him. Love my Dr. Pepper. Now, if he was to pose a threat, the way the officer who shot him and the guy who was representing the police, if it would have happened the way they said, the first two officers would have apprehended him, correct? Stunned him, anything. That was the first funny thing. So, by the time Laquan made it to the busy street, more officers were showing up. At this point, that's when he took out his knife because he didn't feel safe. Now, I can't remember if this happened on Pulaski or Ashland on the west side of Chicago, but it shows an officer pulling up, and on his dash cam, it shows the officer who shot him. It shows Laquan McDonald walking in a straight line. Now, This is the video clip. He's here and the cars are over here. Mind you, I'm not meaning this little bit of space, but from the TV you could see he was this little, the cars was this little, and this how far they were apart. And he was just at this point skipping kind of lightly, briskly, partially, not full blown running, but skipping down the street with the knife in his hand. And then you see the guy who shot him screech up, get out the car, and start to walk towards him. 6 seconds after that officer got out his car, he shot Laquan McDonald 16 times. On a busy street. And yes, there were witnesses. I'm trying not to shake my tripod. I'm using a new ring light that I got. It's a clipboard ring light, so it kind of just clips to my table. My big ring light is too much to constantly take out. I'm in CJ room where I can be by myself, quiet. He's gone outside. So, yeah, I'm in his room. So, the first shot, you see Laquan hit the ground. And then you see his body steady being shot. You can see him like twitching, smoke coming from the body or whatever. He was on the ground, the 15 shots. You can see him after bullet number 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on the ground and he's moaning, basically. And then the officer proceeded to finish him off. Now, after the fact, I can't remember who the guy was. He did an interview with the press, and he went on record to say that Laquan was charging at the police officers with a gun. With a knife. Correction, with a knife. And the officers felt threatened for their life. Feeling threatened for your life when you tase a person first. Mind you, this boy was, I think, 17 years old. When you tase him, why does the first thing you do was hop out the car 6 seconds later you shoot him? That was like odd. Then after the shooting, police officers went into the Burger King, demanded to see their cameras, and proceeded to delete all of the footage off of the Burger King's camera, deleting all evidence. And they didn't have a warrant to go inside this Burger King and ask for their cameras. They had no subpoena or anything. They just demanded to go in there, and they sat in the manager's chair and proceeded to delete 80 minutes worth of footage. Then the eyewitnesses that were out there. They took them to the police station and questioned them for 5 hours. They would not release these people until they agreed sorry y'all, my camera had got hot, so it stopped my recording. But the last thing I said was they would not release the witnesses until they agreed to be silent or to either lie for them. All of them agreed that Laquan was not a threat. They all agreed that they shot him 16 times. Mind you, they were separated, so they weren't allowed to speak to each other. They all agreed that it was cold-blooded murder. Okay? Now, what's odd is the fact that they allow all the police officers to stay together and get their story together, this so-called code of silence that they have. And they ran with that. If it wasn't for the family doing their own autopsy, they wouldn't have known that he was shot 16 times. Y'all notice that police officers never get no real jail time. In the Sandra Bland case, the police officer was given 6 years, end up doing no jail time. And in this case, he got 16 counts, all guilty for murder and manslaughter. Guess how much time he served? I ain't gonna tell you. You know why? Because I want y'all to go watch that documentary. And guess how many police officers got in trouble for lying for the man on why he shot him? That man stuttered on the stand the entire time he was on the stand. And pushed out tears and this, that, and the other. Taxpayers pay police officers, right? So we should have some say-so in what happens to them. And that's just a fact. We should be able to have a say-so who is in any type of superior position to where our tax dollars pay them. By the way, they whooped me. This is not chicken. We gotta do better. A police officer should be held to the exact same standard as a citizen. I don't care how much good work they did. Once you murder somebody, you just as regular as anybody else. Please help me understand. Why is it that a police officer was able to shoot a kid in cold blood, scare witnesses so they wouldn't speak? A Sun-Times reporter found out the truth because they said they only shot the boy once. They said they shot him one time. My thing is, how was y'all going to justify shooting him one time when the family has to see the body eventually, you know, and usually when they come and identify the body is nude. Yeah. Now, I love Chicago. That's my hometown. I was born and raised there. That's the reason why I love. Not to say that any place is any better. But ever since Mayor Daley retired, Chicago is gone. And the crazy part about it is none of the people who was in office even gave the time of day to really figure out what happened. They took the police's word for it, which they always do, and ran with that. And you know it was almost election time, so politics played a large role in that, how the case ran. If you got a son or a nephew, cousin, father, uncle, you should be worried about their life. Because we expendable to them. Police officers. And the sad part about it is a lot of the police officer who's killing us off is black. They tend to let some of the most narcissistic people on the police force just because they was able to pass the police exam and the physical exam. Being physically fit and being able to pass a paper exam does not mean that you have what it takes to be a police officer. You should have to mandatory take classes, because eventually you get desensitized because of the way people address police officers. People are angry, they're aggressive. Everybody don't make their job easy, and they don't make it easy on themselves as well. They should have to take annually de-escalation classes. Instead of y'all going out buying all these new trucks and cars for these police officers, use that money towards their training, because they need to know how to de-escalate a situation properly instead of using deadly force. I said what I said. They paying people off, and I said in my last video, my family better get $1 million. Let's see. I got 4 kids, a grandson, a fiance, and 2 parents, right? Don't accept less than $8 million on my behalf if I get killed off by a police officer. Like, I know I'm always talking about positivity and etc., but I also want to bring awareness to what's going on to our people. Now, I do have family members who are mixed race, mixed with Italian, mixed with white. One of my uncles, his wife is Asian, and I say the same thing, because if you got this much black in you, you're worthless to some people. Not just that, I'm going to touch on another subject. Someone who I know put up a post and had the fist and the pride flag. And this person feels like, how dare they put the fist on the pride flag. First of all, it's Pride Month. Second of all, a lot of issues that LGBTQ community face is the same issues that black people face. So what's the problem with combating it? This person said that we should take labels aside, and LGBTQ people are always looking for attention, etc. I disagree. I feel like when people post stuff like that to invoke a conversation that's possibly conflicting, you're looking for attention yourself. When you're discussing sexuality, race, religion, stuff like that, politics, it invokes conversation that can possibly make people can't stand you, or stop talking to you altogether, because people are really strong in their views on those particular subjects. Me, on the other hand, I don't mind people combining the Black Lives Matter movement and the LGBTQ community movement, because they are both still humans as well. They both need to be advocated for as well, and they are both going through these same things. This is why it can't be separated, and I'm finna explain why. Say, for instance, you're a lesbian woman or a gay man, and you and your partner and y'all child is walking down the street, y'all holding hands, somebody got the baby on, holding the baby or the baby on their shoulders, etc., or even the stroller, and you walk through a group of people who hate black people and hate gay people. How can you separate that if they jump you? Are you gonna, what you gonna say, jump my gay side or either my black side? No, you cannot separate that. A lot of people who hate black people also hate the LGBTQ community. So when they jump you, then what? Excuse me. Most LGBTQ people go through it worse than black people do, because people look at them as disgusting. They look at them as trash, freaks, etc. People of the LGBTQ community are people, okay? And if people get their mind out the gutter and stop trying to picture what it is they do in their bedroom, and just picture that these are just people of a human race, then this will not even be a constant subject. Because we all people. We all want equality. We all want acceptance. We all want to just live our best life without other people in this ear and in this ear and in this ear. Or you have to be scared what neighborhood you can and can't go in, because you don't know if you're going to be accepted. Black people are never going anywhere. LGBTQ community are never going anywhere. And we are stuck with a president that's very discriminative, very racist. He doesn't like women. He doesn't like foreigners. He doesn't like anybody that's not black. And he definitely don't like the LGBTQ community, because he wants to pass a law on the anniversary of the murders that happened in that club in Florida. He wants to pass a law on that day stripping all transgender people of their rights and protections. He wants to tell medical personnel that they do not have to service people that are transgender. They are still people. What do you mean? Now, would you turn a transgender person away that was donating blood? Would you turn a transgender person away who was donating bone marrow for people with leukemia? No. That reminds me of when I watched the Jeffersons, and a man was having a heart attack or something. I don't know if it was Archie Bunker playing that part or what, and the man needed a blood transfusion, and George Jefferson donated that blood, and that blood saved his life. And he said, you should have let me die, because I don't want niggas' blood. Well, he didn't say nigga. He said, I don't want a colored man's blood. In my opinion, there are no pure blood white people no more. Why? Because slaves were raped. They were made to have these babies. Those babies were then what they called house Negroes, where they were serving and inside the house, and then all the ugly, dark-skinned, or not appealing to the eye slaves were stuck outside and doing the fields and stuff. We got to do better. Everybody want to say all lives matter. Show it. Show it. Because if you feel like all lives matter, then that means including black lives. And it also includes LGBTQ people as well. I'm full, y'all. I'm going to say this again. We got to do better. Because if we don't, the next generation growing up is going to have the same mindset that people had in the 60s when we were fighting for rights and fighting for equality, etc. If everybody keep their minds out of people's bedrooms and everybody start treating people like their life matter, then all of the stuff that the world goes through, we would not be going through. And I'm just being serious. It's a shame that people care about pets' lives more than they care about black and gay people, transgender people, bisexual people, queer people, lesbians. They care about pets' lives more than they care about that. And we all people. We all bring something to the table. You can't sit and say that nobody benefited off the gifts that black people bring to the table. Can't nobody say that they don't benefit from the gifts that the LGBT community brings to the table. You can't. And those who hate on these particular groups of people don't have these particular people in their life. I said what I said. Mind your business. So let's just try to spend each and every day loving on each other, supporting each other, telling each other that you're beautiful, praying for each other, and see how that goes. Again, this is Simply Sweetness. I would like for you to, if you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell on all so you can get updates on all of my new videos. I would like for you to like my video, and I would like for you to comment. I do talk back. And share. I cannot stress that enough. If you share my video, I promise you I will be forever grateful. It would never be a point to where I feel like I'm too good to respond back to any of my videos. The only thing that I would not comment to is negativity. And thank God I have not encountered any negative people yet. And through the grace of God, that's been a blessing for me, because I don't know how that would make me feel. But thank you for joining Simply Sweetness. You have a blessed day, and please come visit me for my next video. Bye.